My research mainly focuses on how the environment change and influence, carbon nitrogen dynamic in ecosystem. Right now, I think we are trying to have several projects. It's kind of focused on how land cover change influence carbon nitrogen dynamic. One project will be, Amazon project, and used to be cropland, but now we convert to the wetland. So in my group, we actually try to understand how this land cover change from cropland to wetland influence carbon, nitrogen storage, and also maybe influence on greenhouse gas emission. In my research, actually, I basically studied how this change will influence ecosystem, especially forest ecosystem, wetland ecosystem, and especially carbon nitrogen dynamic. Climate change can have significant impact on ecosystem, and most impact, for example, maybe influence how the plants grows. We maybe also influence on diversity of the plant. Some plant maybe actually cannot adapt to the warm environment. If we can actually store more carbon on the land, so that we kind of reduce the CO2 concentration or methane concentration in atmosphere. So if we can do that, find some mechanism, that be obviously is very helpful. Try to reduce the problem. I think Amazon actually provides a very good case study because think about that. It's a large scale, about 3,000 hectare landscape, and used to be cropland, but now it's converted to wetland. This is a huge change, and this environment change, I'm pretty sure will influence ecosystem carbon nitrogen dynamic. But the question I want to know is how this change will influence carbon nitrogen dynamic. For example, the carbon storage start to change. How about nitrogen storage start to change? Because we know in the wetland, usually they can store more carbon. I think this land cover change, down the road, we can store more carbon on the wetland. So that's good for our environment because we can store more carbon on the wetland. But another issue is the wetland usually can release more methane, and methane is actually even more powerful regarding the warm atmosphere than the CO2. And we have a terminology called global warming potential. This is methane is almost 30 times more powerful than the CO2. So on one hand, we can store more carbon on the wetland, but at the same time, we all release more powerful methane. So my study tried to kind of have a comprehensive assessment. Is this is good for our environment or is it bad for our environment? In my research, I do not try to study how the climate change, but climate change is kind of driver. Basically influence how the climate change influence carbon nitrogen dynamic. We provide this lots of research opportunity for the students, and especially graduate students, so as they have hands-on experience, they can use the facility and also use the lab instrument like this CHM. It's funded by National Science Foundation. This instrument is a very useful instrument because we can use this instrument in very short time. We can determine the carbon nitrogen concentration of any soil and plant sample. I know the climate is changed and it's getting warmer, and sometimes we have some areas have got more heavy rain, sometimes flood. But I think this is important for us to know how this environment change actually will influence our wetland, will influence our forest ecosystem, will influence our cropland, because this have direct impact on our economy, on our daily life.